Hello again, friends. It's Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair. Excuse me. And today is going to be an unusual demonstration. It's not an unusual unit. It's a very frequent visitor at my shop here. Your typical '69 Ford slash Cougar AM 8-Track. The unusual part is that another shop had done a conversion on it, but they could not figure out how to get the 8-Track to work along with the conversion. Then after taking the unit apart, I discovered a good dozen workmanship violations, safety violations, reliability violations. Basically, I had to tear the whole thing apart and redo it. And so now we're going to test the whole thing with the 8-Track working. So let's just go ahead and now one thing that I'll point out here is among the mistakes this other guy made, he used the wrong coil for the radio. I'm not going to change that because the radio is working to the customer's satisfaction from what he says, so I'm not going to change that. This board is out of warranty, and I don't want there to be any indication that the board went out while it was under my care. As it turns out, there was not. This previous shop did not heat sink the board when they mounted it. That most likely caused the board to overheat and probably knocked out the virtual front rear fader function. So I'm going to baby this board and not try to connect anything more stuff to it. So let's go ahead and turn the radio on. Got it set to FM. And we're just going to run just a couple of stations. This won't be a complete test because we're mainly testing the 8-Track function. Okay, that's our FM. Let's turn it to AM, off, on. Okay, now we're on AM.
There's a monster truck tour, and that will be at the Findlay
test the balance control.
And you
to
may
the
be
left.
Where's the Findlay Toyota Center?
To the right.
Prescott
Back to center. And that's another thing this previous guy did. He wired the balance control backwards, so I wanted to make sure that works properly. Let's test the USB. This conversion included the USB option, so let's make sure that still works. I just got my radio commercial plugged into a USB stick. Plug this into the unit real quick. Okay, there's my radio commercial playing. I'm going to pull that out. Radio comes right back. Okay, let's test the line input. Make sure that still works.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, and all of this information.
A little bit of a loose antenna jack there. Have to fix that real quick. Okay, there's our line input left side. I'm sorry, line input right side, and there's a line input left side. And as I've mentioned in several other videos, there is a 20-second delay before that radio comes back on by itself, and that's just due to a Vox circuit that holds onto the aux signal a little longer than it needs to, so it's not constantly switching back and forth between the radio and the aux input. Radio should be coming back right about now.
Is it mechanical?
And there's our radio. Okay, now to test the 8-Track section. Got some Ann Murray, and let's make sure the 8-Track works.
House and Associates, Prescott Brewing Company, Yavapai Regional.
Okay, we're listening to the strains of Ann Murray now.
Raining in my
I'm gonna switch tracks a bunch of times.
and we'll find a little hideaway. Can make me feel safe. Whoa, yeah. You got raining in my heart. Ooh, the night is young. Baby, serve from me for the Lord.
Okay, now ordinarily, the way that I wire these conversions, when you pull the tape out, the radio comes back on immediately. I'm not going to wire the board up that way on this one, simply because I'm not going to add anything more to a board that's already been damaged by not providing enough heat sinking dissipation for that board. So unless the customer is willing to buy a new board, I'm not willing to add more voltage to it. This normally, when you plug a tape in, it sends 12 volts to the board to activate the aux input. I'm not going to do that on this radio. The customer just has to live with the fact that it's going to take 20 seconds for the radio to come back, or he can turn it off and then turn it right back on, and the radio comes back that way. So that's the only thing that I'm not willing to do to this board that's already been possibly damaged by the previous shop by not providing enough heat dissipation. I'm not able to, unless the customer is willing to pay for a new module, he'll just have to live with the fact that
Traffic striking.
that the 8-Track will start playing immediately, but the radio will take 20 seconds to come back on. So we'll just give it 20 seconds to make sure that radio does come back on the way that it's supposed to. And again, the only reason that I'm not making it so that the radio comes back immediately after pulling the tape out is because I would have to add some wiring to a board that may have already been damaged and it's out of warranty.
With a perfectly stacked
And
headline that
I don't want to be the last guy who had the unit before the. I don't want to be the. I don't want the board to go out while it's in my shop because I did something that the board doesn't like. And when you stress electronics by making them run too hot, you don't really know what it's going to like and not like. So at this point, everything is complete. I've done everything that the customer has asked me to do. Everything that was working with the conversion is still working, with the exception possibly of the virtual front rear fader function that may have been burned out by excessive heat back there. But everything else is working. So I'm going to go with that, and we're ready to send this unit back to the customer, and I'm ready to get on to the next job. So let's see if we can find my face here. There's my face. Once again, I'm Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair. This is a pretty unusual case. I don't get a whole lot of units from other shops. I get some, but not a whole lot. Never have I gotten any mess like this from another shop. I don't even think he's an authorized installer of Aurora products, so he may have been one of these unfortunate guys who found a board through one of the shops that are illegally selling them to the public. At any rate, I've done what I was asked to do, and was getting paid to do, so we'll go ahead and get out of here. I'm Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair. Needless to say, if you have an 8-track unit, either for home or for car use and need a service, you can reach me at 928-533-9666. I also do classic car conversions on AM radios. Even AM/FM radios can often benefit from a modern conversion, especially if you're looking for more output power. So, my website is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and listening. This unit comes from Jay in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, looks like. So thank you, Jay, and I'm sure he'll be happy. I already sent Jay about a dozen pictures of what the last guy did wrong, and I sent him pictures of what I did to correct it. I'm not going to bug you guys with all that stuff, but I may put it on my website. It may be a neat selling point. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.